Welcome, welcome, welcome. You know, today's an awesome day, right? It's a beautiful, sunshiny day here in Las Vegas, and today's a big picnic day. And, you know, I'm just so grateful for each and every one of you that have come to share and participate. And, you know, CARP is having a workshop. So CARP ended up with half our congregation, half our band. But even so, their spirit is here with us. So I want to thank Mr. Rigney for your prayer. I needed that. Our praise team, who in spite of everything, I was in the workshop and they were here practicing. You know, we're going to be going through some changes here because CARP is moving on to many different things and will be gone. And so, you know, we're auditioning for bass players. Any bass players out there? Any bass players out there? So, as most of you know, we have a theme every month. This month is our duties and responsibilities in God's chosen people, which is us. This week, it's the providential life and role of blessed families. So I started thinking about this, and you know, because I want to get it right, and I had to kind of work on it. So I kind of looked up the words to figure out exactly what I should talk about. And if you look at providential, it says of, relating to, or resulting from divine providence. Providential care, a manifestation of divine care or direction. So we refer to this divine direction as God's providence of restoration. In fact, it says in the divine principle, in the fall section, 4.3, the providence of restoration may thus be interpreted as a process of changing the direction of this fallen world from its current satanic purpose to the purpose of building the kingdom of heaven, God's ideal of creation. Wow, it sounds like a big job, right? Yeah. So, role. You know, role is a role, and we all know the role, but this word role is really actually kind of important because it has a few other points that are kind of important. You know, it came from the 16th century, where roll was actually a roll of paper, and the actors would write down their role on this roll of paper, and that became the role. But with that, it also is your capacity, your position, your responsibility, and your duty. You know, and an actor, when he's in a play, right, he can't just decide he doesn't want to say his lines. He can't just arbitrarily change the lines. It's very important he has a responsibility to do his best in acting and saying the right words so that the play or the movie or whatever will be accurate. And so everybody else can work with them to make a wonderful movie. So that's very important. So it's what you are. It's what you are doing. It's what you're doing as a blessed family that coincides with the divine direction of God. Or, what are you and your family doing to build the kingdom of heaven? Right? Well, you might say we're trying to raise a heavenly family, or we're trying to lead an honest life, right? You know, do the right thing, you know, attend to parents. Maybe you're working with UPF, helping Mrs. Rigney and Mr. Rigney. Maybe you're working with WFWP, Women's Federation for World Peace, with Sarah and Mary. Or maybe you're helping Ms. Yamaguchi with ACLC, right? So many things, CARP, you know, even though they're all the young people, we also sometimes get involved to support and help. Even just coming to church. pray, tithe, tribal messiahship. The list of responsibilities really goes on and on and on. You know, it's too numerous to mention. In fact, sometimes it comes overwhelming, right? A lot's to do in building this kingdom of heaven. We have a lot of responsibility. Yeah. So when I was thinking about, well, what shall I actually talk about today, right? I mean, that's a lot. I could probably stand up here for 3 days, and we'd miss the picnic and all the other fun things, so I'm not going to do that. So I wanted to pick the right one. Which one would be the best thing to talk about? What would make the most sense and kind of encapsulate everything? So what I did was I went to the Bible, and in the Bible, I looked up Mark 12:30 and 31, and it says, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength." The second is this: love your neighbor as yourself. There is no commandment greater than these. When you say love your neighbor, it doesn't necessarily just mean the person that lives next door to you. It really means the people in the world, our neighbors. We're one family, right? Right? All God's children, all together. Everybody's our neighbor. Then I checked with Reverend Moon, and he said, what is the most important thing? The one thing we need more than anything else. It is not money, power, or knowledge. It is true love. True love is more precious than life itself and more important to us than air or water. Sounds pretty important, right? Yeah, I mean, what could be more important than air, right? No air, we don't breathe, we die. So this must mean that if we don't have love, we die. Or maybe we have a difficult time. Everyone likes love. Love is the only thing that can satisfy all human desires. God's providence of salvation stems from the principle of love. So love is really important, and everything kind of stems from love. Without love, we really have nothing. So today, let's talk about love. In fact, let's talk about true love. You know, yeah. Love. It's an amazing thing. It's kind of a silly thing, and we get a little confused here and there. You know, whether we say the right things, do the right things, right? One time my wife said, "How would you describe me?" I said, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. She looked at me kind of confused, and she says, "What does that mean?" I said, adorable, beautiful, cute, delightful, elegant, fashionable, gorgeous, and hot. And then she goes, "Thank you." This is all true, by the way. What about I, J, K? This is where I screwed up. I'm just kidding. But I'm not. So, you know, love is not easy. It's not something that just happens accidentally. It's not something that we're really, really good at sometimes. Just ask my wife. But, you know, it's hard. We kind of don't always know what exactly to do. You know, there's a World Cup final, and this man makes his way to his seat, which is right next to the pitch. Really, the best seats in the house. He sits down, he notices that the seat next to him is empty. He leans over and he asks his neighbor, "Will somebody be sitting there?" And he says, No, this seat is empty. He said, the man said, that's incredible. He said, here it is, the playoffs. And who in their right mind would, not be here in that seat? It's the best seat. Neighbor says, well, actually, the seat belongs to me. This is the first World Cup where my wife, whom I'm always with at the World Cup, has missed because she passed away since we've been married. Oh, the man said, I'm sorry to hear that. That's terrible. But couldn't you find someone else, a friend, a relative, or even a neighbor to take their seat? Man shakes his head and says, no, they're all at the funeral. See what I mean? We just can't get it right? We try, we work at it, but we just can't always get it right. And so today we're going to work on it a little bit. We're going to talk about true love. So what is true love? Reverend Moon says, what is true love? It is giving and then forgetting about it. It is giving and then giving some more. With all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind and all your strength. Wow, give and give and give. Well, how much love should we give? Reverend Moon says, love requires 100% devotion. When God was creating the universe, he invested himself 100% through his love. That is why true love begins with living for the sake of others. And then Reverend Moon teaches that all and everything we do should be for the sake of others. That always we should be giving and trying to love and try to help and try to nourish and try to raise up and try to help and, everyone. For the sake of others. Others means everybody. But won't the love run out if I do that? Reverend Moon says, even though you may give and give and give, the world of love lasts forever. Love can never be exhausted. The more it is set in motion, the greater it gets. So now I need to ask, can you love this guy with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind and all your strength? Or how about this guy? Can you love this guy? I'd definitely be careful hugging him. Or how about this guy? We see a lot on the streets, many homeless, many stop signs, stop lights, right? They walk with the signs and they come up. I don't know. It makes me feel uncomfortable sometimes, Is he just going to take money and go out and get drunk or something? I'm deciding what he's going to do with the money already, and, well, should I help him? How about this guy? Who knows what he's done? Or these people? Or these people? Or this guy? Can we love these people? It's not easy to love everyone, is it? Right? Is it easy to love everyone here? No. We seem to gravitate towards people that we like or have some common interest in, right? Or someone that we respect because of their status or position or things that they may have. And we just seem to avoid the others. And I was wondering about that because, I'm loving my neighbors, my friends, the people I hang out with, right? But not everybody. And so I went to the Bible again, and James. Does everybody know James? The chapter of James is actually Jesus' brother. So there are a few James in the Bible, but this James is Jesus' brother. And I thought that this could be something special because, I don't know, we really don't know about Jesus' life, right? We know that when he was 12 years old that he kind of was out teaching, but that's about the only thing we really know. But I'm thinking that maybe his brother, that grew up with him, might have some insight. Maybe they talk now and then, and Jesus will say, James, I got to do this and I got to learn this. What do you think? And maybe, not sure. So let me read this verse. My brothers and sisters, believing in our glorious Lord Jesus Christ must not show favoritism. Suppose a man comes into your meeting wearing a gold ring and fine clothes, and a poor man in filthy clothes also comes in. If you show special attention to the man wearing the fine clothes and say, here's a good seat for you, but say to the poor man, you stand over there or sit down over there, have you not discriminated among yourselves and become the judge with evil thoughts? He said, listen, my dear brothers and sisters, has God not chosen those who are poor in the eyes of the world to be rich in faith and to inherit the kingdom he promised those who love him? If you really keep the royal law found in the scripture, love your neighbor as yourself, you are doing right. But if you show favoritism, you sin. For whatever keeps the whole law and yet stumbles at just one point is really guilty of breaking all of it. Because judgment without mercy will be shown to anyone who has not been merciful. Mercy triumphs over judgment. So I thought about that, and it kind of made sense. I was kind of curious because, sometimes we really pick and choose who's a sinner and who's not a sinner. I mean, from what I understand, we're all sinners, right? Any non-sinners out here? Just raise your hand. I knew it, Stefan. I can see the halo too, So, which sin is, does that mean that if, you do look perfect, by the way, very handsome guy, Stefan. How's the music? Good? Have you all heard him sing his music? Wow. It takes me 10 years to write one song, and he writes 10 songs in how long? No. So, as we think about it, does a parent pick and love one child more than the other? I mean, y'all look like parents, most of you, right? And you have maybe more than one child, probably, right? And do you love one more than the other? No. I have 2 children, and my son is, as you know, blessed and really trying hard to support true parents in our movement. And my daughter doesn't. But I love my daughter every bit as much as my son. I don't consider her bad. I love her, and she's a special girl. And she's awesome. So I don't think God picks and chooses and says, well, Reverend Compton, you give good lectures and you've been loyal and faithful for 50 years. And I love you a lot more than that guy we saw back there. God loves each and every one of us. Each and every one of us is a unique expression of God. Without any of you, God would be missing a piece. So don't you think he loves you? So even the Pharisees had brought a woman to Jesus and who had committed adultery and asked him, what should we do with this woman? And as you know, back then, if you had committed adultery, they would stone you to death. That was the punishment. There's no ifs or ands or buts. If you caught in adultery, you're stoned. And they asked Jesus, what should we do? What should we do with her? And so the story says he was writing in the sand, And I'm not sure what he was writing, but he was probably writing maybe thief or whatever the sin is. And he says, let any of you without sin be the first to throw a stone at her. You know, we are a brother's keeper, and we need love, and we need to lift them up. No matter who, no matter what, no, whatever. They're all God's children. They're all children of God. But also, we're on a journey to grow our hearts, right? And we need to develop this capacity to love. You know, God is love. So in order to connect to God, we need to grow our heart of love. We need to really learn how to love. And it's, you know, as I mentioned in the beginning, it's not easy, you know. It's just not. So it starts at an early age in a family, right? The family is the school of love. In the family, as a child, we learn how to receive love. Growing up with brothers and sisters and peers and friends, you know, we learn to kind of have that give and take with them. And then we have a spouse, and we learn conjugal love, a deeper love. And then we become parents, and we learn how to really give and love without expecting anything back. So all things are a lesson. We're learning how to grow our hearts. We're learning how to love. And that's really, really important, so we need to practice that. Well, it's easy to love someone that you hang out with that you like, right? How much is your heart really growing? I don't know. But that person that I usually don't really maybe hang out with, and maybe they're a little different than I and have some different ideas. Maybe they're holier, or maybe they're not as holy, or whatever it is, that's where we grow our hearts. That's where we learn to love. That's where we really learn the deep meaning of true love. So today is a really special day, and I really want to bring this down closer to home. As you know, Reverend Dew had spoke to us and offered us Starbucks cards, right, Reverend Dew? How many of those have you given out? One. Yeah. He just wanted us to go visit somebody that we usually don't visit, right? Some family that you usually don't hang out with, or you usually don't maybe talk so much with. And I think that that's really a great idea. With or without a Starbucks card, I think it's something that is kind of important. I apologize for the picture. I looked and looked. In fact, I looked so much last night for the picture that was nice that my computer crashed. Then I had to start over again. But it was, but, you know, I mean, can you love that guy? Can you love that girl? Or how about that one over there? Yeah. Or one over here? So we're having a picnic. And it's a perfect opportunity to love somebody new. I think today is a great day to love somebody new. And I wanted to try something, and I hope this is okay, but you know, the last sermon, and I said, I love you, and then you all said, I love you. And I kind of got stuck doing that because it really felt so good. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you when everybody in the congregation was going, I love you, and I was standing up here, I felt so much love. I felt, oh, wow. I mean, I know you're doing it because I said to do it, but...
We still love you.
But so let's first look at your neighbor and say, I love you. No, I said, look at your neighbor. Yeah. 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 Did that feel good? Yeah. See, look at how much fun they're having there. Okay, so now let's do this. This side of the room, look at that side of the room, and say, I love you. This side, everybody, I love you. Okay, And now this side of the room, look at that side of the room, and tell everybody, I love you. Doesn't it feel good? Doesn't it? I know it does. I mean, you're all looking at each other, but I still feel the love up here. So I'd like to add a few more quotes to end with, and not too many? I'm overdue again. I don't wear a watch, so I brought my timer with me. To connect with true love, we must first relate with God. So this is a very important part that I didn't want to leave out. Because a child might say, my father and mother don't fight, we live well, but that doesn't necessarily mean that this is a family of true love. A young man and woman may say, we are so much in love that we could die, but that doesn't mean that's true love. If God is not present, then it is not true love. True love always centers on God. To become God's son or daughter, we first need to connect with God's love, life, and lineage. Love holds supreme value. Once you have true love, even God will follow you. The world will follow you. Everyone will follow you. Once you stand in love's place of honor, all creation will follow you. The more love we have, the happier we become. Love is such that once it is in our hand, we never want to let it go. The source of life cannot be governed by human will. Only true love can influence our motivation, our course, or the end of our life. Human beings were born of love, so they must live for love and even die for love at the end of their lives. True love is really important. So today, I want to encourage everybody to have an awesome day, to find somebody you haven't spoken to in a long time or ever, and have a great time. Have a fun today. I'd like to end in prayer. Please join me.